What are tiny tweaks, principles, and seesaw principles?
So what I talk about in emotional agility is the idea that we all know that when we are time pressured, when we are feeling stressed, that's often when the worst of us comes out. That's often when we get hooked. It's often when we behave in ways that are values incongruent. So I talk about in very practical ways how we can start to construct habits that are values aligned. So that when you're stressed, when you're time pressured, you are still doing something that is accordant with who it is that you want to be. The leader who gets so caught up in the 300 emails that I've got to answer today that forgets to ask staff members how their sick child is, who forgets to connect, who forgets to be relational, that becomes worse for that leader when that leader is under time pressure. So if we as a leader then create what I call a tiny tweak, which is we start to make small changes to our environment that are values aligned, we see great change. I may, for example, have a particular meeting that I go to every single week. And I might start creating a habit in that meeting of really important catch-up time. I might put a time in my diary that is marked for me as the space whereby I'm actually thinking about my staff. Or in a very practical way, one of the CEOs that I was working with was very task-oriented and would go into meetings effectively being so transactional that people would feel unseen. And what this leader did, more of an introvert, but started to, as a habit, on his note paper, drawing a little face, a little smiley face. So every time he had a fresh piece of paper, he would draw the smiley face. That was a cue in his environment that when he looked down to write, actually, he needed to remind himself to look up and connect. We can create habits in our environments that are freeing. The parent who wants to be present, but who comes home from work and doesn't look up from their cell phone, saying to their child, "How was your day?" And the 16-year-old replies, "Fine," without looking up from his. If you want to be a present parent, think about a habit that you've already got. You put your keys in a particular drawer. Put your cell phone in the same drawer. This is what we call piggybacking, where you've got an automatic habit and you add a new habit to it. So this idea is effectively that big change happens not by selling up and moving to Italy, but really by the tiny tweaks that we can cultivate and embed in our environments that are values aligned.